You're well, and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on possessive nouns. So we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on possessive nouns. And before we start with our lesson on possessive nouns, we are going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged into aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we are going to select the subject of language arts, and then grade 3. All right, and thereafter, you're going to scroll down up until you get to the chapter of possessive nouns. So we will be doing the chapter of possessive nouns, and we are going to be focusing on specific lessons under the chapter of possessive nouns. All right, so our chapter for today is possessive nouns. The subject that we'll be focusing on is English language arts, grade 3. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on today under the chapter of possessive nouns is to identify plurals, singular possessives, and plural possessives. We're also going to form singular or plural possessives, and we're going to identify and correct errors with plural and possessive nouns. And our lessons that we are doing is going to be on aplusstudents.ca. So we'll be doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. So if you do want to go back, recap, go over certain things, aplusstudents.ca. All right, so we're going to start with our lesson on possessive nouns. And today you will also be able to see the difference between, for example, what we call a possessive noun and basically words that are just singular or words that are just plural. So now you're going to have to be able to identify the difference between just a singular word, a singular noun, a plural noun, as well as a possessive noun. So a possessive noun shows who or what owns something. So possessive noun, it shows who or what owns something. Or it even shows who has something. So if something belongs to you, right, then it is basically yours, right? But instead of just saying yours, mine, right, it's like saying the person's name. So if an item belong to Jack, right? Or if the ball belongs to Jack, and then it means that then it means it's Jack's ball, right? So basically, a possessive noun, it shows who or what owns something or even has something. And when a noun is singular, right, then we just add an apostrophe and is. to form the singular possessive noun. For example, if the ball belongs to Jack, right? It's Jack's ball. So now we put the apostrophe and S because it's Jack's ball. So basically, it is Jack is singular, it's alone, the ball belongs to him. So we added our apostrophe and our S to show position, to show that the ball belongs to Jack. If the doll, or let's say the cell phone, let's rather use something more modern, if the cell phone belongs to Anna, right? And then it is Anna apostrophe S, if it's Anna's cell phone, right? So which means that this person, right, Jack or Anna, is basically a singular noun, right? It's referring to one person who owns or has something, right? And then we put an apostrophe S to show possession, because now we know that either Jack has the ball or Jack owns the ball. Anna has a cell phone or Anna owns the cell phone, right? Because that is what the apostrophe shows. The apostrophe shows possession. It either shows someone has something or it either shows that something belongs to that specific person. And remember, if you want to show possession, you need to show the apostrophe and S after that person's name, right? If you don't show the apostrophe and the S, and you, for example, just say Jack's ball, then we'll assume that you are saying that is just a plural noun. All right. So that is basically singular position. Also, that shows um it's a possessive noun, but it shows singular, right? It's a singular possessive noun. And we said a singular possessive noun or a possessive noun, once again, shows who or what owns something or has something. And like I said, when a noun is singular, referring to one person, and then we add an apostrophe and S to form the singular possessive noun. All right. So that is one example, right, of basically when a noun is singular, right? And then we add an apostrophe to it. But now, when a noun is plural, remember plural referring to more than one person, right? So the noun is plural, so which means that it refers to more than one person. And then we say, when a noun is plural, right, two or more people, and the word ends in S. So if the noun is plural and that noun ends in S, then you only need to add an apostrophe to form the possessive noun. So when a noun is plural and ends in S, then all you do is you add an apostrophe at the end of that word to form the plural possessive noun. For example, the boys, right? So the boys refers to more than one boy, right? Or more than one person. So if we want to make mention of something either that the boys has, the boys are going to, um, right? And then for example, we say the boys' camp. And as you can see, for example, boys, if we refer to the boys' camp, then boys is plural, referring to more than one boy. and we just add an apostrophe at the end of that word. If we want to make mention of one boy, right, having something, Jack is a boy, right? So if we want to make mention of that boy who is Jack, who owns a ball, then we can say the boys this ball, because that refers to one person, and this is singular, right? But as soon as it refers to more than one person, and it is plural, and then we need to add the apostrophe at the end of that word. Right? All right. Another example is the schools, right? This refers to more than one school. So schools, right? This is more than one school, right? So if they talk about the school, the teams of the different schools, right? And then they're saying the school's team, right? So as you can see, is we add the apostrophe at the end of that word. Because once we show plural and your plural ends with an S, and then we add the apostrophe at the end of that word. All right. And then also, when a noun, right, is plural and does not end in S. Remember, we said that if a noun is plural and it ends in S, and then we, for example, if the noun is plural, let's say boys, we're referring to more than one boys, right? More than one boy, and then we add the apostrophe at the end. That is if the noun ends with an S. But if the noun does not end with an S, but it is plural, for example, the mice. Mice is plural. It refers to more than one mouse. Then we still put the apostrophe and S, because now we're saying the mice's tails. So these two, if you look at where the apostrophes are of these two words, right, both being plural, then if you look at the first one, this word, this plural form ends with an S, and the apostrophe is basically at the end of that word. And this plural form, right, does not end with an S. So we added the apostrophe and the S. So if you, for example, somebody saying schools, if you're making mention, if you're writing it like this, right? This schools refers to, let's say, maybe your school that you attend. It refers to your school. Doesn't refer to more than one school. It refers to your school. So if you maybe say your school, the anthem of your school, right? Or the rules of your school, then this is what we mean when we're saying the school's rules, right? So we say the school's rules or the rules of the school. So this refers to one school, basically. It doesn't refer to more than one school. If we refer to more than one school, let's say we may be talking about athletics or sports. So now maybe there's 3 or 4 schools playing amongst each other. So now we're saying schools, right? Now we say schools with an apostrophe s, or maybe the sports day of the different schools. So if we are talking about, or the schools or the nouns are plural and it ends with an s, and then we put the apostrophe at the end. But if it is singular, right? If it's a singular noun, we put the apostrophe at the s. Or if it is a plural, but it does not end in an s, then we also put the apostrophe and the s. And remember, we said that with the possessive noun, it shows possession. It shows that someone either has something or someone owns something. All right, so let us go to a+students.ca. So now we're going to a+students.ca. Basically, all these explanations that is over here, I basically just did that, right? So once again, a possessive noun, it shows who or what owns something, or it shows who has something, right? So a possessive noun, it shows either who or what owns something or has something. And then we have singular nouns, right? Or we have singular possessive nouns, and then we have plural possessive nouns, right? And with a singular possessive noun, we add an apostrophe and an s to that singular possessive noun. And here we have an example. If we make mention of Matt, right? Somebody's name, and we want to talk about his glove, then we say Matt's glove. And as you can see, we add the apostrophe and the s. We talk about one bird, right? So we say the bird, and we make mention of the bird's wing. That's one bird. Maybe the wing got stuck somewhere, or the wing is hurt, or something like that, right? But when a noun is plural, referring to more than one person, and the noun ends with an s, right? Then we just add an apostrophe at the end of that word. For example, the boys, referring to more than one boy, and they are going on a camp. Now we say the boys' camp. And as you can see, where we added the apostrophe at the end of that word. The schools, this is now more than one school that we're talking about. Schools, more than one school. So if we're talking about the teams of the schools, then we're saying the schools teams. And then we put the apostrophe outside at the end of that word. After that is. But also, if your noun is plural, but it does not end with an s, for example, children, it's more than one child, it's children. Mice, it's more than one mouse, right? So if your noun is plural, but it does not end with an s, then we still put the apostrophe and the s. And this basically shows position. It shows who or what owns something or has something. All right. Also, you need to know the difference between a possessive noun as well as just when something is plural. Remember, if something is just plural, then we just add an s to it. But if it is a possessive or plural possessive noun, then we have the apostrophe also with it, right? Example, like look at this word. What is the underlined word? The stars were bright in the night sky. So the word stars. So look at the word stars. Is this a singular possessive noun? Is it a plural noun? Or is it a plural possessive noun? So basically it says the stars were bright in the night sky. So stars, it refers to more than one star. So if they're saying the stars were bright in the night sky, then that does not show any position. It is basically just more than one star that is in the sky. So which means that stars is just a plural noun. It does not show position at all, which means that we do not have to add an apostrophe. The same year with Mr. Milton studies insects. So Mr. Milton studies insects. So if you look at the word insects, is this a possessive noun or is it just a plural noun? Mr. Milton studies insects. So this word insects, right? It's basically just telling us that Mr. Milton studies insects. It is a plural noun. Yes, it is a plural noun because it's only referring to more than one. They're just telling us about more than one insect that he is studying. But it does not show any position. All right, so now let's go to our test. What is the underlined word? The stars, look at the word stars. The stars were bright in the night sky. Is that a plural noun or is that a singular possessive noun? So stars, the stars were bright in the sky. Is that a plural noun or a singular possessive noun? Option one or option two? All right, so if we were to say or basically choose our correct answer, then yes, this is a plural noun. It's a plural noun, right? Because it is basically just telling us that there's all these stars in the sky and they are bright, right? So it's referring to more than one star that is in the sky. It's talking about all of the stars in the sky, but it's not showing position. So it's only telling us about more than one star in the sky that is bright. So well done. Malia and and Russell brought their canoes down to the river. So look at the word canoes. Is canoes a plural noun, which is option one, or is it a singular possessive noun, which is option two? Malia and Russell brought their canoes down to the river. Canoes. So if we choose the correct answer, then yes, we will say it is a plural noun. because canoes refers to more than one canoe that was brought down to the river. It does not show position. It's not like they're saying Malia and it's their canoes. They just say that they brought the canoes to the river, right? So it is a plural noun. So well done, everybody. Oh, now look at this one. What is the underlined word? The crowds cheers filled the room. So the crowds' cheers filled the room. Is this a plural noun or is this a singular possessive noun? Look at the apostrophe also. So the crowds' cheers filled the room, meaning that the crowds were cheering. Not forgetting the apostrophe. Look at the apostrophe S. Is that a plural noun or is it a singular possessive noun? All right, so let me do this. So the crowd's cheers filled the room, right? If they remember, we talking about possessive nouns, right? Yes, it is a singular possessive nouns, a singular possessive noun, right? So this is well done. Is it Glendy? This is a singular possessive noun, right? Because they are saying the crowds' cheers. They did not say, remember, if they said crowds, then it is plural, right? But as soon as we have an apostrophe, as soon as we have an apostrophe and an S, then it shows possessive or a possessive noun or shows possession. So it is number 2. It is a singular possessive noun. Because it's telling us that it is the crowd's cheers that is filling the room. Right? So no, it is not a plural, but it is a singular possessive noun. Right? So a singular possessive noun. So well done to everybody who identified as a singular possessive noun. Remember not forgetting to look at the apostrophe and the S. If there's no apostrophe, but it ends with an S, then it is a plural noun. Mrs. Lawson has a necklace made of diamonds. So Mrs. Lawson has a necklace made of diamonds. So diamonds, look at the word diamonds. So is it a plural noun, which refers to more than one diamond? Or is it a singular possessive noun? All right, so basically the underlined word diamonds, it's a plural noun, right? It's a plural noun because it refers to more than one diamond necklace that she has, right? All right, so now we're going on to the next lesson, which is to form the singular and plural possessive. All right, so we're going to now form the singular or plural possessive, right? We need to type the possessive form of the given noun. All right, I'm going to try and go a bit louder. Please tell me if it's still the same. Can you hear me now? All right, so we need to type the possessive form of the given noun, right? So if we type the possessive form of the given noun, so the given noun is, the first one is army. So the first one is army. So army, all right? So here it says our army arrows, right? So if we're making mention of the noun, which is army, then we will say our armies arrow. Our armies arrow. Because we are making mention of the given noun, which is army. So we say the army's arrows. Because this is now a possessive noun. And it's basically a singular possessive noun. If we look at the next one that says pilot, right? If it is the plane of the pilot, how are we going to write that possessive form? It is the plane. So pilot. How are we going to write pilot in the possessive form? So basically pilot, right? So we can then say the pilot's plane. So the pilot's plane. And there we have the apostrophe and S. So the pilot's plane, because we are showing that the plane belongs to, let's say the plane belongs to the pilot, especially when they are doing their trips. And then we basically say it is the pilot's plane for that specific day or few hours. The next one is the conductor, right? So if we want to say that it is, we want to talk about the whistle of the conductor, then we can say it is the conductor's whistle. And we put the apostrophe and the S. It refers to one person, the conductor's whistle, the pilot's plane, the army's arrows, right? So this is singular possessive nouns. Yes, so well done. Pilots with the apostrophe and the S. All right. So, okay, so somebody says that they're not getting it so very well. So if you own an iPad, is it Adium or Adium, right? So if Adium owns an iPad, so now the iPad belongs to Adium, right? So we will then say it is Adium's iPad. You understand? So if this belongs to you or you show possession, right? Belongs to you or it is yours, then we say it is Adium's, which is apostrophe and S. Or if the dress belongs to Judy, right? And then we say it is Judy's, apostrophe and S, dress. because it is Judy's dress. This is singular possessive nouns. If it is, let's say, Sasuke's um let's say her chips, right? Her snacks. And then we say it is Sasuke's snacks. Now this shows the singular possessive nouns, right? So we put the apostrophe and the S to show possession, right? But now, if, for example, we are making mention of more than one girl or more than one boy, right? So say, for example, we say it is the girls' outing, right? So if the girls are going on an outing, now we say the girls are going on an outing, right? This is now more than one girl. Then we say the girls', we put the apostrophe at the end of that word. It's the outing, all right? If we want to make mention of the boys, which refer to more than one boy, if it's their soccer team, and then we say the boys' team, and the apostrophe is at the end of that word. And this is now a plural possessive noun. But with a singular possessive noun, like the example that we made of Judy, right? Judy's dress, and then we put the apostrophe and the S. That is correct. So it will be singular possessive noun if it has the apostrophe and the S, like we made mention over here, right? It's a singular possessive noun if it has the apostrophe and the S. And it is, for example, plural if the apostrophe is outside or at the end of that word, and if it ends with an S. If there is no apostrophe at all, and we are just talking about um, insects, right? Or we're just saying boys with no apostrophe, then this is just a plural noun only if there is no apostrophe at all. All right. Do we understand? Should I go over another explanation, another example? All right. So now we're going on to our test. Right, so now let's go over to our test. Now we're going to say if we're actually going to form either a singular or a plural possessive noun based on the, let's say, the answers that will basically be here. So we're going to type the possessive form of the given noun, right? So the noun is given, which is either hero or heroes. Do we say a hero journey, or do we say a hero's journey? Remember, we are showing possessiveness, either a singular possessive or we're showing a plural possessive. So do we say a hero journey, which is option one, or do we say a hero's journey? All right, so if we select the option, right? And then we are going to say a hero's journey, not forgetting the apostrophe and the S, right? Because it's telling us whose journey it is or who is on that journey, right? So a hero's journey, which is option two, and that is a singular possessive noun. So well done. Well done, everybody. Do we say my cousin belt or my cousin's belt? Apostrophe S. Option 1, which referred to the cousin, or option 2, which shows possession of the cousin's belt, meaning that the belt belongs to your cousin. So my cousin belt or my cousin's belt? All right, so if we choose the correct one, then we will say it is option 2, which is my cousin's belt. Remember, even grammatically, it doesn't sound right if we say my cousin belt, right? It is my cousin's belt, which is option 2. So well done to everybody. Nope, option 2, my cousin's belt. The chief canoe or the chief's canoe? The chief canoe or the chief's canoe? Is it option 1 or option 2? The chief canoe or the chief's canoe? So we need to type the possessive form of the given noun. Do we say the chief canoe or the chief's canoe? All right, so if we choose the correct option, we will say it is the chief's canoe. All right, so well done. Option 2 is correct, the chief's canoe. Do we say the coach camera, meaning the camera belongs to the coach, or is it the coach camera or the coach's camera? So the coach camera or the coach's camera? So the coach camera or the coach's camera? All right, so if we choose the possessive form of the given noun, and then we will say it is the coach's camera, which is the second option, right? And that shows possession. It shows that the camera belongs to the coach. And there we also have the apostrophe and the S. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson, right? So we went over, we identified plurals, singular possessives, as well as a plural possessive, right? And we also got the difference between either a plural noun, a singular possessive noun, as well as a plural possessive noun. Remember, plurals, it just shows that something, there's more than one noun, right? More than one person, place, animal, or thing. So we just add an S to that noun to show plural, right? But a singular possessive noun, right? It is where we add the apostrophe and s to that word because it either shows someone owns something or something belongs to that person, right? That is a singular possessive noun, and we add an apostrophe and an s, right, to that specific noun. And then when it comes to a plural possessive noun, right, which shows that more than one person either owns something or it belongs to more than one person, right? And then we add the apostrophe only at the end of that word if the plural possessive noun ends with an S, right? So that is now the end of our lesson, grade 3. Thank you very much for joining the class. Thank you very much for being interactive. And I really hope you're going to have a great day further. Till next time, goodbye.